Okay, so I've had to confess a few times before that it's just lost on me how anybody can find entertainment value in watching a guy, however personable, however nice he might seem, however sort of real and all the rest he might seem, playing like an absolute prat and losing a fortune is just beyond me. I do not get it. But hey, they're not making these videos for me or the likes of me. They're making it for people who I guess can't gamble themselves or want to gamble and can't afford it. Or honestly, I mean, why am I rambling on? I have no idea what the audience is for this. But by golly, I mean, Bobby is at about 750,000 now, sneaking up on the heavy hitters like Vegas Matt and Mr. Handpay and Lady Luck HQ and so on. And what can I tell you? What I can tell you is that this was quite clearly a terrible session. The number at the top there tells the story. But this guy just went nuts. He just went, it's just. But the entertainment value escapes me simply because this is not real money to these people. They may or may not be playing with their own money. That's not the issue. Whoever's money, wherever they get their money to play with, at the end of the day, if they lose it, they get it back from Google in huge checks, for all the clicks that they get and the ad revenue that they generate and so on. So it's not real gambling. So you see somebody like Vegas Matt who still tops his channel with the claim, my gambling is as real as it gets. No, it's not, you prat. It's not real at all because you cannot lose. And if somebody can't lose, where is the excitement? It'd be kind of like watching Godzilla in a boxing ring with, I don't know, Dana White. You wouldn't have any doubt about what the result was going to be, and there wouldn't be any excitement about it. It would just be a question of, oh my God, I hope I don't get blood splattered. But anyway, that's all beside the point. I'm just saying to you, this time there was a house edge of 25%, which would kill any one of these professional losers on YouTube. Pattern betting managed to squeak out, that's the algorithm, managed to squeak out a piddly plus 2.7%, but against minus 25%, that's pretty damn good. And also, typically of all of these professional losers, Bobby walked away from the table after 5 consecutive losses. I would never do that. Pattern betting has no rule for that other than saying if you feel uncomfortable for any reason, get up and go. Start at another table. Gag is get up and go. Start somewhere else. Resume betting at the same level. And then if you want to quit, wait till turnaround. So I think that pattern betting was 1,600, 1,700 down because of Bobby's really poor choices. And let me say, obviously, I mean, it's his money. Wherever he gets it from, it's his money and he can do what the hell he wants. I'm just concerned about these guys all showing their audiences the worst way to tackle these tilted table games in casinos. If you play like this guy, you're going to lose. If you play like Dana White or Crazy Cody Burn Money or Vegas Matt or any of those people, you are going to get wrecked, screwed, hosed, beaten. You're just not going to survive. So please don't do it. All right. So I haven't tracked Bobby Rivas in a while, largely because his style of play it's certainly more interesting than John Sirasani's, and he's a more likable guy, and he moves a lot faster, and basically just. He seems to enjoy himself more. I mean, Sirasani gets to be really tiresome because he spends more of his time moving his lips than moving his chips. So it's too much. And in this world, we can't love everybody we run into. Let's face it. I mean, he would probably hate me on sight, so never mind. Anyway, back to Bobby Rivas. Check the actual value. Absolute crap. Terrible. Check his performance. Remarkable similarity between the two lines. I think we can all agree. The AV against him, the house edge against him was 25%. He made that worse. He pushed it to 36%. And the thing is that watching sessions like this and tracking sessions like this is part of the reason why I came to the conclusion, a long time ago, last year, maybe even the year before, that these professional losers, the Vegas Matts and the Crazy Codys and the Bobbies, the Bluffin' Bob, as he likes to call himself sometimes, these guys lose on purpose because they bet as if they really don't want to win. And when they win, it's kind of like a bit of an embarrassment. And of course, they only win when they win more bets than they lose. And that certainly did not happen to Bobby this time. He went out down 41. He said it was 41,900. I got him at 40,900. But I guess the difference is made up in side bets and tips and all that sort of thing. And these guys tip like crazy, and I find that not offensive exactly, but it's just not real.
This is a reminder.
It's not how actual people behave. I was always a good tipper, not a crazy tipper, not an over the top tipper. But if I did well, the dealer did well. If I did badly, the dealer did badly. That's the rule, basically. And most dealers accept that absolutely happily. And the funny thing is, of course, that years and years ago, it used to be standard for dealers' tokes, tips, whatever, to be piled up beside the discard box, that little sort of like plastic thing, that thingy that sticks out, and they put the used cards in there, the old cards, the dealt cards, and behind that would be a little pile. And then one day the casinos cottoned onto the fact that people would look at that, and if the chip pile was high, then they'd figure that the dealer was getting his or her ass kicked, which was correct. And if it was low, then they would move on to somewhere else. And so they just got rid of that. They decided to count chips with the help of the camera, the eye in the sky, and that was a loss as far as I was concerned, because I always used to sort of use the tip stack, the toke stack, as a sort of a measure, a bit of a guide. And of course, it's absolutely true that nothing will ever change the fact that every single bet that you make at these table games is more likely to lose than to win. But we have to accept, in spite of what the arithmetic says, in spite of what the mathematicians like to say, in spite of what the so-called experts will tell us, there are such things as hot streaks and cold streaks, and this, of course, is where pattern betting scores most of the time. It's very difficult for me to play the pattern betting algorithm against these guys long term, because they do shit that I would never go near. I mean, Bobby this time, for instance, just one round, he split out to two hands. He had 16 on each. The dealer was showing 7. He stood on the 2 16s. Sure enough, the dealer turned over a 10. And that sort of thing, it makes a difference in the long run. It shows a kind of an attitude which is almost self-destructive, I didn't actually check the cards to see exactly where Bobby came out at the end of that, whether he would have done better if he'd hit the 16s or not. And it's entirely possible that he would have lost. But when you start behaving that way, it's the sort of butterfly effect on the shoe. It just it mucks things up too much. And this whole sort of spreading out to more than one bet, to me, it's bollocks. It's nonsense. It's just self-destructive idiocy. But one of the other things about these guys, of course, all of them, including Vegas Matt and Crazy Cody and Brandon O'Brien and Bretsky and all the rest of it, is they are very determined not to learn from their mistakes. They keep on doing the same dumb shit. And again, it leads me to believe that they don't want to win. They know they're going to win at the end of the day, thanks to Google and thanks to all the freebies and comps and God knows what that they get from the casinos. Although if it's Vegas Matt, he'll complain about that too. They do very, very well. They don't need to win at these table games. They need to provide content. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I have no idea what the entertainment value is of watching a guy play very badly, very stupidly, very self-destructively, and lose 42,000. Well, he says it was 42,000. I got it as 41,000. Although I have to say he includes in his amount, I think, his losses at a session of one of those stupid games that I wouldn't touch with a disinfected barge pole. UTH, I think they call it. UTC, HTP, UFC, I don't know, whatever. It's, those games are crap. They're nonsense. Don't go near them. Don't touch them. They're just, but the smart thing to do is to stick with even money bets at craps, if you like to do that sort of thing. Start a few new sequences, if you like. I mean, start with a minimum bet at single zero roulette, if you like. And then when you start to lose, which you will against a 2.5, 2, whatever it is, house advantage, move on then to baccarat or blackjack. I mean, here what he did was he moved from blackjack to baccarat. I didn't check his UTH, that's what they call it, Ultimate Texas Hold'em. That's it. I didn't bother with that because it's nonsense. But I did track his baccarat play, obviously. And what I chose to do, at one point I would very, very carefully and laboriously put down what the actual winning side was in baccarat, and then put down what the individual professional loser's choice was, and then write a special formula to read that as plus or minus. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it the easy way. D simply means he made the wrong choice. P means he made the right choice. And I don't know whether it came out banker or player, and I don't care. It's irrelevant to pattern betting, so we don't have to think about that. Once again, I just draw your attention to, this is the actual value. Piece of crap, horrible session. Why he stayed, I don't know. His action pretty much tracks the, and this is what happens. If you bet randomly or if you bet flat, this is the kind of result that's going to come out. If it's a losing, a prolonged mean streak like this one, then you're going to reflect that in what happens to you. And frankly, you deserve to win. And Bobby deserved to win this time, no doubt about it. Let's go up to pattern betting. Pattern betting squeaked out a rather piddly, nasty sort of waste of time win, 800. But I have to say, typical for these professional losers, Bobby left me with the effect of a 5 long losing streak, mean streak, so that the 5 losses in a row. And for me, I mean, next time I track Bobby, and I will because I want the turnaround. But next time he plays, I'll turn around, and everything will be hunky dory. But it's just one of those irritating things about these guys is, they don't know when to quit. He should have quit a whole lot sooner. Be fine. But yeah, what I was saying was, it's not great, and he left me in a hole, and I'll get out of the hole. It'll disappear the very next time. It doesn't matter whether I track Bobby or somebody else. The turnaround will come, and this is the essence of the whole thing. You'll see up here that it was really difficult for pattern betting to make long-term money, and the bets got to be absolutely huge. And the only thing I can say to you about that is these guys bet so badly and so stupidly that me having to go along with them, and the algorithm therefore having to go along with them, is a real pain in the ass. But what can I tell you? Nothing else really. That's about it. I sympathise sort of with Bobby Rivas because he seems like a nice fella, but he occasionally just behaves like an idiot, and Maybe he thinks he has to do that for drama, for content, for clicks. Uh, you know, it's yeah. The Irish have an expression, "just for the craic," and it sounds a bit like click, doesn't it? So yeah, just for the crack is how they pronounce it, I think. Yeah. I had an Irish barman once say to me, "I'll pull your ears for you just for the crack," and I said, "Pardon me?" And he says, "Just for fun." Don't you speak Irish? Yeah, but anyway, CRAIC, they spell it. And it means absolutely nothing, and it's completely irrelevant to the discussion that we're not having because you're not in a position to answer me. But anyway, that was a very, very, very poor result for Bobby, and frankly, he deserved it. So there you have it. Next time.